Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and U Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show. Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and welcome to the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and U Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the business stories that matter to you. And that's everything from learning what it takes to succeed in life and in business, the triumphs, the pitfalls, and everything in between. And today I am so excited because I am sitting across from an amazing lady that I have known for a good handful of years now, Miss Jeanne-Marie AlyGad. And am I saying that right? Because I know I ask you a million times. It's so funny when you know someone for a long time, but you still are like, am I saying that perfectly? So Jeanne-Marie AlyGad, she is with APS, Arizona Public Service, and you have a lovely title of, is it Southern Arizona Director? Am I getting that right?
That's right.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank
Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And I love this energy after lunch.
Perfect.
I needed it.
That's awesome. Well, we love having you here after lunch or in the morning or anytime. And so welcome. We are so happy to have you. In knowing you off mic and having a relationship with you, I know more about you, but share with our listeners a little bit about you. How did you get started at APS? You've been there 18 years and you don't even look that you could be working for 18 years because you're so young and youthful. But tell us a little bit about what work you do there.
Yes. Thank you for having me in your show podcast. I've been at APS 18 years. I am originally from Lima, Peru. I came here to Arizona when right after high school. And honestly, I tell people I love APS. I love the company that I'm a part of. We are like family. And, it really is personal as far as my career there. When I moved, I didn't have a lot of support. I moved by myself, so I didn't really have family or friend group to lean on. And after I went to technical school and I gladly landed at APS, really by luck, I found my family, I found my tribe and people that were really willing to invest in me, willing to guide me, and that have helped me get to where I am today. So I'm very grateful to this company, and I love working there.
Wow. I mean, for 18 years, clearly they take good care of you and you take good care of them. And I know part of it is you keep the lights on is sort of the fun catchphrase there. So what is it that you specifically do in your role?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, I say always the easiest way is we keep the lights on. And in my role, I am overseeing 6 different service centers in the southern part of our beautiful state. And those are some of them, example, Yuma, Douglas, are border towns. So it's important that, we have good relationships in all of our areas, really. But where my role helps is that I speak Spanish. And so we really try to embrace our community, the community that we live in and work in and serve. And so that's an example, a cool example of some of those service centers. We have other service centers that are a little bit more remote. One of them is in Parker, Arizona. The other one is in Globe, Arizona. And very different landscapes. We have large service centers like the one in Buckeye and the one I'm based out of in Casa Grande. And in there, we have the crews that build the lines. We have the people in the planning departments that help municipalities or customers build their projects. So I oversee a large team of people that work in different places, but we're all together as one towards the same objective, which is to connect our customers, and when there are emergencies, that we restore power as quickly as we can.
Sure. And when you look at, again, 18 years is a long time to be, working with the company that you're with. What is the piece that sort of gets you up early and keeps you up late? Like, what do you love about the work that you get to do?
Yeah, I think it's been fun. I was just sharing with a leadership class earlier today that I've done it all. I've designed power lines. I've been a project representative helping with projects. I have been in leadership. I've been a project manager, building substations and transmission lines. And so I've done a little bit of everything in our big, umbrella of delivering power. And so really what I do, it's my passion. But honestly, the funnest part of the job is the people that I get to work with. Yeah. They're very talented. They're diverse, different backgrounds, different experiences. Some have been with the company for a long time. Some are external hires, go-getters from the community that we snatched. And so I really work with a really great group of people. They're all good people that truly care about the service that we provide. They care about the community. I mean, last Saturday we were helping build a house with Habitat of Humanity, and it was a great experience. So we really live what we say. Who we are is we really live it, we really practice it, and they make work fun.
I love that. I love that. And obviously we get to work together, in a coaching capacity. So I get to see you on a regular basis. But for our listeners, you have had a very interesting journey getting you to where you are today. And you mentioned, leaving your country and coming to the States. What was that journey like? You don't get to where you are in the role that you're in and the position that you hold without, folks that have helped you and guide you along the way. So who are some of those mentors that you've had in your life and your experience?
Thank you for asking that. I have had a really great luck in finding people, and also people finding me. I share with people that when I first started, I couldn't speak English. And the person that was in the hiring panel had to translate a question in Spanish, and I understood the question, and I was able to answer the question in English. But it was tough. I was 19, maybe 20 years old. Again, no family, nobody to lean on really here. And but I really had a great desire to do a good job, to apply the skills that I had learned in school. And so I had a really good work ethic. And, like that gentleman that helped me, guided me and said, hey, this is kind of the company culture. Here's, if you're 15 minutes, if you show up 15 minutes to the time, you're late. You need to be 30 minutes ahead if you're really early, right? So just guiding me, giving me those tips on what the company culture was like, what good work ethic looks like, going above and beyond from my role. At the time I was a designer, and challenging me to stretch in learning different activities like applying for permits and figuring out the work plan for the crews at a very young age. I had mentors like him that really believed in me, gave me the knowledge, and also were willing to push me beyond what I could do, but always with that reassurance that I'm teaching you, I'm helping you, I'm guiding you to whatever the next step is. And so it's important to recognize there's been some women as well that were very encouraging throughout my career that talked to me more about having confidence in myself. I didn't always, especially because of the language barrier at the beginning, I didn't have that confidence. And so again, those mentors, those people that are willing to put time in you and believe in you, and you have to believe them. Yeah. That they believe in you.
I love that. I love that.
So I've been very fortunate with that, and also just again, I think part of it is if you want to go somewhere, there's gonna be obstacles, there's gonna be hard times. It's not gonna be easy, but there are a lot of people out there, whether it's your network or mentors or colleagues, that want to see you succeed. And that's what's so beautiful about Arizona and the United States in general. I tell people we're very community driven. We're willing to lock elbows with each other and bring each other forward and up.
I love that. Well, and I know that that's a big piece, again, in our executive coaching sessions that you've talked about a lot is this desire that you have, or this passion that you have for mentoring and guiding and serving others, which is beautiful in the work you do. Do you have advice for other Latina women who are looking to step into, whether it's the utility industry or into leadership roles, that things that you've learned along the way that you would sort of pass on to them as words of wisdom?
Yeah, no, yes, definitely. I would say that, again, I was talking about how difficult it was at the beginning. And, I did go back to school, went back for a bachelor's and a master's. So I do have an MBA. Then I went back, I self-studied to get certifications in project management, constantly taking the time and sometimes resources, right? Budgeting so that I could pay for some of these things to advance myself. So I would say investing in yourself first. You can have a lot of really great work ethic and very good values, but at the end of the day, sometimes you need to upskill in order to be competitive out there, in order to better improve your skills or even your communication style. Going back to school helped me a lot with my English, obviously. And I would say, so the first thing would be invest in yourself, whether that's time, resources, and then don't focus on the negative. There's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be hardships. There may be discouraging words. There may be negative comments made, and that's okay. Focus on the larger picture, on the larger group of people that are willing to see you succeed, and help each other up. One thing with women. I've been fortunate. I've worked amongst really uplifting women, all powerhouses, some of them single moms of all backgrounds, and honestly, what our motto is, or our mantra is, at APS, is let's help each other out because we're few. Right? And so when you're in a situation where there may just be a couple of you in a room full of men, we women need to help each other out, stick out for each other, and help each other grow. So that's the only way that we keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge. It's huge. And when you look at, obviously having, the knowledge that you have, the education, but also just the firsthand knowledge of really being in the trenches and the work you've done for such a span of time now, do you recall, or do you have a moment that was really pivotal to you in your career or in your growth that was really defining for you of stepping up into a director role or anything that kind of shaped you into why you're here and growing in the way that you have?
I spent the first part of my career specializing in distribution design, which is how to basically extend power to people, projects. And then the other portion of my career, I spent it in project management and of all different types of transmission and distribution projects. And then there was the shift to leadership, right? The last part of my career, I want to say almost 10 years. Half of my career I would say I've spent in leadership and worked my way through supervisor roles, manager, director. And I would say the biggest transformation is realizing that at the very beginning, you may be doing things as you're trying to prove yourself, that you have a great work ethic and this and that. Is more, about you're doing things on your own, working in a team, but, maybe leading projects, but it's you. When you make that shift to leadership, it's about people. It's about the people that you're leading. And if when you make that choice to be that leader, you need to know within your heart that the reasons why you're doing that. It's not to attain a better title. It's not to attain better pay. You should be doing it for the people that you want to help, that you want to move forward, the teams that you want to help develop. And so that if you become a leader, you make that shift to leadership for those right reasons, which is for people, for developing people, for helping people, then you'll be more fulfilled that way. Because I find my greatest happiness is when I see one of my employees get a project done that they thought was tough, or when they get promoted, or when something happens at work that I know, oh man, I had that little influence that helped them get from A to B. And when you see them succeeding, that brings so much joy to your heart. So I think that's the biggest realization I've had.
For sure. And being able to just watch their growth and their path to on their own journey, right?
Yes.
And being a part of that. I love that. And for you, obviously you spend a lot of time doing the work that you do, yet there's the personal side too, a mother of an amazing little boy who's getting ready to turn 1. Yes. How do you do it? Because I know that's a question that comes up often is, how, when you have a large role and responsible for a lot of different people and projects, and have a little 1-year-old son at home, how do you manage it all? What were some of the secrets to your success in juggling all of that?
The secrets. Somebody tell me the secrets. It's fun. It's fun because I joke around with some of my team members that do also have little kids, and I used to, harass them when they couldn't make not in a bad way, but just joke around when they couldn't make a meeting. And now it's karma.
Right.
and we joke around. It's like, I get it. I thought I understood, but I did not. I had no clue until I had my own kid. And I, I'm later in my career, and having a baby, being in a director role with a lot of responsibility, 24/7 responsibility. It's been tough. It hasn't been easy. It's doable. Folks told me, you'll figure it out. And I just kept thinking, I'll figure it out. And little by little, yes, we have been able to figure out, my husband and I. We both work for APS. We both love what we do. And so there's some negotiation there with schedules and planning, finding the time ahead. We look at our calendars 2-3 weeks ahead and plan every day who's picking him up, dropping him off, plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah. And sometimes the unexpected happens, and I'm fortunate that I have that community, that work family that totally understands if something's happening and I have to, pull back and go stay home or get him from daycare or whatever happens. So I think that we are luckily, after COVID, I think a lot of companies are realizing that it's okay to have some flexibility there. And as we're evolving in the workforce with company cultures, that, as long as things are taken care of, it's okay to have some flexibility to give people some grace. And it's just those small things really make a difference.
100%.
They really do. And they've been very helpful. Just knowing that, my peers, my boss saying, hey, do you need anything? Or just sharing stories of their own struggles with me, and that makes me feel like I'm not crazy.
Right.
This is normal.
Right. It's normal, and I'm not alone. Those are the big ones in early parenting, for sure. Sure. And having a work culture that supports that is so important. It's wonderful that you've found that as you're growing your young family. So it's exciting. It's exciting. Well, I would love for our listeners to learn a little bit more about you. So I have some fun questions to ask you. Okay. This is where she gets nervous, folks. No, I'm just teasing. So first question for you is, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Man, that's tough.
And if it's a word in Spanish and you want to translate it for meaning, or if it's a sound of a word, feel free to make this your own. So
Can you tell I didn't prepare for any of this?
You weren't supposed to. That's part of this. It's part of this.
My
It's just in the
favorite-
moment.
Oh, geez. I don't know. There's just so many. I'm just trying to think of something that I would say that I say often. I don't know. It's tough.
It's tough. Did I stump you? Did I stump you? Well, and it could also be, something that you aspire to, or that that a word that makes you feel a certain way. Anything. No right or wrong.
Yeah. My favorite word. Why don't we talk about the words that I didn't know how to say in English?
We could do that. Well, the next question is what word, what is your least favorite word? What word don't you like? So maybe it's one that was a tongue twister learning in English. That could
be. It's my favorite word. I think, I don't know that there's a favorite word. I would say just, my favorite word is probably home. And because I think home means so many different things to people. But sometimes when you're in laughing with people that you have a good connection with, and I think you can feel home with them. And that speaks loudly to me for someone that I struggled for a while not being in Peru, not having my friends, not having my mom. My mom lives here now, but she didn't for a long time. And I miss them so much. And I built a home, and I think about what does home mean to me. And home is when you have those good relationships, those deep connections, when you're sipping on that warm coffee in the morning and you feel good, or you're driving around looking at Camelback Mountain and it's so beautiful. And just, I think that I love the word home and what that can mean to a person.
I love that. That's a perfect, see, you landed on a perfect word. I love that. I love that. So is there, what is your least favorite word then? Is there one that stands out there?
My least favorite word. I don't have a least favorite word, but I would say that I don't appreciate like curse words, if sometimes they come out, but I feel like, there's something, it depends. And I talk to people about that. I say, your words, you got to be careful with your words, because words can mean so much, and they can be damaging if you don't use not in the right, seeing in the right context. So I think that we have to be careful with words that could be offensive.
Sure.
And that in order for us to understand that, we have to be very aware.
Yeah.
I think this today, right? Today's context needs us to be aware and to be curious about what's going on and what's going on with each person, and make sure that we are careful with words that could be offensive. Those are not my favorite words.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely. So next question for you is, what turns you on, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, creatively? Like, what just brings you to life?
What brings me to life? I would say I really love working. I really love working with people, and they may not be, even if it's a challenge, right? If it's not every project or not every issue that comes up is going to be fun to deal with. But I think that I not want to put it in words of a workshop, but I think it's very APS. Like we are so driven to fix, resolve, turn the power back on, and really we work all year to prepare for A, B, and C, and make sure that if something happens, when it happens, we're ready to go. And so I love working with people, teams, on what could potential challenges be, what are our options, brainstorming. I think the best ideas come from different people, not just one, not a dictatorship, but when there's diversity of thought. And I just love that, especially if we implement something that came out from my team members, or it was their idea. That just so cool.
Yeah.
Because I could feel like, man, I was able to get that, out in the open, and we're implementing it.
Yeah,
and
bringing an idea to life.
it's more, I get more joy than implementing their ideas and what they want to do than what I want to do.
Right.
So I think that's cool. I just love working on solving problems.
Yeah. I love that. So conversely, what turns you off?
Oh, what turns me off? What turns me off? I would say when things, and I have shared this as more like a pet peeve, when things are not clear. We do well working in ambiguity. We do a good job of that. But when there's not clarity on what we're trying to accomplish, that could be a little crazy, and it happens in different ways, right? For example, I'm asked to sign something and I don't fully understand what I'm signing, and that's just like a pet peeve. So I talk to my team about create clarity, be as clear as you can. There's no reason to not communicate, and just I think that I would say just making sure we're clear, and if there's confusion, that we all get aligned on what are we trying to accomplish.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's not productive.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. When you think about your life, is there what sound or noise do you love?
When I think about my life, what sound nice?
Whether it's in your personal life or professional life, what sound or noise are you like, oh, that makes me happy?
My baby giggling about Avi, or she's always giggling, even if I'm like trying to tell him, don't do that. He giggles.
Still giggling. Is there a sound or noise you don't like? What don't you like to hear?
Very loud noises. I'm just not. Maybe it's PTSD. I don't do well with very loud noises. I would say, going back to that favorite, this is funny. Favorite sound is the noise machine. I never thought I needed a noise machine to sleep.
Oh, right.
But after my baby got one, I was like, yeah.
You're like, this is good. I literally have a Google Mini, and I have it on every night, and I put it on for my dog too. But that's really not to make him like relax or anything. It's really so that he doesn't hear outside noises and bark. But to your point, it is very effective, and I do think it helps with your sleep. So I love that. I love it. White noise or sound of a ocean or whatever it is. Love it. And if you were to have a profession other than what you do you have like that would be fun, and not based on like your talents or skills, like put all that aside, but if you could just attempt any profession, what would that be?
I would be a professional travel organizer. Oh. I love traveling. I used to be like my little hobby when I was younger. I would come up with all these trips, and the cheapest way to hit like 3 countries at once or whatever.
Love it. Yeah.
So I have done a lot of traveling because of that through my years. But if anytime anyone is going anywhere that I have been, I'm like, I will let you know all the places, all the tips, all the things.
That.
Yeah,
love that.
I'm
going to have to mentally bookmark that so I can be like, hey, I'm going here. What do I need to know?
And that's the thing. It's like I've never been more. I probably will be. Those people that just sit on the beach, but I'm not. It's just like I want to see everything. Yeah. I want to go to all the places, try all the foods. Yeah. So that's my favorite thing. That's awesome. Probably still. Yeah. And I'm hoping that to introduce Malik to all of that.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure that'll be a big part of his journey for sure. If Mom loves it, I'm sure he'll be right there by your side. Exactly. Is there a profession that you would never like to do that just sounds dreadful to you?
A profession that sounds dreadful. Yeah. Why is she asking these questions? Dreadful. I don't.
Or just something you would just like, oh gosh, I could never do that all day. Like that would just be. Ugh.
Yeah. I've thought many times that I could, I wish I was a doctor so I could just tell myself what's wrong with me. Right? No. But I think there's a lot of, I think that you got to have a lot of just, good, I wouldn't say control and self-awareness, and because people go through such tough, difficult times, and you do that in leadership. I think you coach people through difficult times, but I think doing something like that where you're working in emergency, dealing with what I'm trying to say is you're dealing with people that are hurt, maybe in hospitals. I think that will be too draining for me.
Yeah.
Because I get so emotionally invested with people. And so I, take my hat off for all the people that do that work. I think it takes tremendous amount of strength to do those jobs.
100% with you. Yeah, that would be really tough for me. And I'm so grateful for those that love it and do that work because it's so important yet.
Yeah.
So I won't put you through any more torture. Just one more. Just one more. Can we do one more? Okay. So if heaven exists, what would you love to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Aw, it's going to make me cry. What would I love to hear God say? I would say that, they're all here. My family members and the people that I've lost, and that they're all there. Because I think part of me believes they're out there somewhere. My grandmother watching over me. And just, I'm happy to hear they're there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What a beautiful response. I love it. I love it. Well, I am so appreciative, and I know our listeners are so appreciative to learn more about you and yes, your role in APS, your journey, and just more about you, because I think you're just a fascinating, wonderful human being, and I have the joy of getting to work together with you and getting to know you in so many facets, and I appreciate you sharing so much of yourself with us today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jodi, for inviting me and truly opening my eyes to leadership in a different way.
Thank you.
And all the few people I've got to meet through some of your workshops and seminars, really amazing people out in the community doing meaningful work. I realize that there's a world outside of APS.
Yeah.
And there's other awesome people out there.
Right.
And so I can't wait to, hear more of what comes out of these podcasts and wisdom from other really great leaders out there. And I know, again, we're all a big community trying to move Arizona forward.
100%. That's what this is all about, is just sharing the stories and, getting to know our community. So thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you one final question. That is, this is the Leadership Lowdown. So do you have a tip or a piece of advice for anyone listening today, whether it's life, business, any words of wisdom to close us out?
Any words of wisdom? I would say, I think I said it earlier, I think you really need to think about it's not going to be easy every day, right? All jobs are hard. You have your ups and downs, and when you have that gut feeling, lean in. That means you have to lean in. You have to stretch. You have to be courageous for you, for your people, for your team, for whatever it is that you're trying to tackle. And as you lean in, and it may not be easy sometimes, believe in yourself. And if you doubt yourself, look at those, again, mentors, peers, leaders, whatever, that are guiding you. And when they say, yeah, I believe in you, do it.
Yeah.
And listen. Listen and listen to them. And again, believe in yourself. You can do it. And until tomorrow when the problem's solved, you won't know. You will look back and say, oh, I did it. See? And then what's next?
Right.
So, so just remember that. We're all in this together. It's not always going to be easy, but you have what it takes. You didn't get there by accident. You are there for a reason, and you'll get through whatever you're up against.
I love that. And spoken from a leader who truly has lived that. So thank you for sharing and being here today. So thank you. We appreciate it. With that, until next time, this has been the Leadership Lowdown with your host, Jodi Low. Thank you for joining us. And remember, leaders are learners, so stay curious and keep leading with love.